Earthquakes can always catch you by surprise, so you should always expect the unexpected. I'm here to tell you that before planning before an earthquake, since earthquakes are one of the most unexpected natural disasters, you should always have a survival kit ready by your side. Things that you should have in your survival kit are fire extinguishers, flashlights, battery-powered radios, and first aid kit. You should always know how to use those and use it correctly whenever you need it. Also, with the survival kit, you should know where to go in case you're separated from your family. You should always have a plan where to meet up, or if you guys are separated, have an emergency call so you can call them and know where to meet up.
Alright, so sometimes earthquakes can't really be that predictable. Sometimes they just happen and nobody really knows. So if you're inside, stay inside. If you're outside, don't panic, stay outside. It's better to stay where you are, near the interior of the building or away from the exterior of the building. That way, nothing falls on you. Because it's more dangerous to have something fall on you from the outside of the building, trying to get in and out, rather than stay where you are. If you are in a building, try to stay in the interior, near the interior walls. Take position near interior walls or interior doorways, and try to avoid windows like this one. I know it's a bad idea that I'm sitting next to this window, but this is where we are. All right, so during an earthquake, never use fire. During an earthquake, gas leaks tend to happen a lot. And gas leaks and fire really don't mix, and they end up having a rather explosive reaction. So, as well, very similar to a fire, don't use an elevator. Elevators can very much get stuck or even fall off the supports that they're on. Use the stairs instead. It's a very bad idea to use an elevator, and it's much safer to get down to the bottom floor using the stairs during an earthquake. All right, lastly, if you're outside or in a car, stay where you are. If you're in a car, just sit in the car, turn it off, make sure you're not near any buildings, and just sit there. It's safer in the car than outside.
So, like Alex previously mentioned, before an earthquake, you need to have a before, during, and after plan. Alex and Sean already covered our before and during plans. Now for the after plan. After an earthquake, it is very important that you check yourself and those around you for any major injuries. Any injuries that are left untreated can go to cause serious problems in the future, even if it's just a quick tourniquet or some kind of quick on-the-spot first aid right after the earthquake. Once yourself and everyone around you have been checked properly for injuries, it's very important that you check for downed electric lines, damaged gas lines, and damaged water lines. Downed electric lines can be a serious cause of injury and or death, especially in the instance of an earthquake. Same thing with gas lines. That is why it's important that you do not use any kind of fire during an earthquake or after, because those gas lines can cause an explosion, very serious. Then the water lines you want to check to prevent possible flooding. Once all the lines have been checked for any damage, it is safe for you to turn on the radio to be able to listen for any possible emergency contacts, trying to tell you or those around you where to go for safety. It is also important not to use your phone. Your phone should be saved for very serious emergencies, such as dialing 911 for serious injuries. If you happen to live in a coastal area, make sure to move inland towards high ground, especially after an earthquake. Earthquakes are very dangerous and are very serious, and they're the only cause of tsunamis, which can cause even more death than the earthquake itself, as well as way more damage. Tsunamis can be a serious threat. They don't generally happen directly after an earthquake and will take some time to move inland from their epicenter out in the deep sea. It is very important to take precaution and move inland into higher ground right after an earthquake, so as to avoid the threats of a tsunami. If you happen to be at work or school, make sure and listen to those that are in authority of you, as they more than likely have a direct plan for what to do during or after an earthquake. That's all we have for you today. Now remember, always expect the unexpected.
Be safe.
It's an earthquake! We're all gonna die! It's an earthquake! We're gonna die!
Earthquakes are always unexpected and just let me know. All right. What am I gonna say?
Time it off, you're already recording.
I know, we can edit it out, it's fine. It's still here, it's still here.
So,
Alright.
So like Alex said, you're going to need to plan during an earthquake as well. So if an earthquake were to ever happen, they're rarely ever predictable. That's a lie. So don't use any sources of fire during an earthquake as well. tends to happen that that's a really bad line and very bad English.
Once yourself and the